Hey, hello everybody. I am Soma and welcome once again to my channel, my home. And today we are going to do something a little bit of fun, and I want to take you back to my kitchen where I think on a regular, normal basis, the job is just to put food on the table twice a day, thrice a day, and we're so busy running around that we are always looking for hacks. I know I am, because I don't want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and especially now that it's getting rather warm. I don't like being in the kitchen for longer periods of time in summer because it's really, really warm, right? So, while hacks are wonderful and I love a good, amazing kitchen hack, I know sometimes there are times when you can't go for a kitchen hack. You sometimes have to do things traditionally, and that's because when you invite people over your home. And I think a week or two ago, we had like 14 guests over for dinner on a Saturday night. I usually prefer doing it on Saturdays because of the obvious reason. Sunday you can rest a bit, clean the house, and etc. and all that stuff. And because the reason I did dinner is also because you have the time to prep. And when you're inviting 14 people over, you want to take the time to make sure what you're serving is really, really good. Now, I am not showing you the entire menu here, but if anyone is interested, I'll be happy to share the entire menu of what went in. But most of the dishes that I'm going to show today, actually two, are non-veg dishes. So if you're vegetarian, just let me know if you'd like me to do more vegetarian dishes, and I can show them as well. In fact, for the dinner that day, we did have a couple of vegetarian dishes. I didn't film it, so it's not in here today. So when I invite people over, I take the time to prep, and because the number of guests were more than 10, it takes a little bit of time to actually go ahead and prep for the dishes. So I had to make sure I had enough time. Now, the first dish is a gravy fish curry, but I wanted to keep it very, very dry as on the gravy side of things. My first dish, what I'm going to show you here, is a quick recap of how I cooked my pomfret. Now, if you're not comfortable with pomfret, you can use any fish you would like. Obviously, because I was inviting people over, I wanted to do a little bit of different kind of menu, and I didn't want to include like regular fishes which I would normally consume on a regular weeknight or weekend. So I used pomfret. The taste was good. I really loved how it turned out. It was amazing, and I think my guests enjoyed it as well. So of course, because it's meant for guests, there is a little bit of use of oil and bunch of spices. So if you think, so this is to give you an idea, but whichever way you're comfortable, feel free to replace the fish with maybe chicken or egg, or you can replace it with any other varieties of fish. You can also make sure that the amount of chili powder or anything else that I've used, you can replace it, reduce it, just play around with it. This is just for fun and to give an idea how I like to make mine. I hope you get to enjoy, and thank you once again for watching. So my next dish is mutton curry. It is heavily spiced. It is very spicy as well. If you see, we have used enough spice, and it has a lot of layering of spices. And now, the quantity might seem a lot to you. You have to remember we were cooking for a lot of people, and there's a lot of spices used. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't prefer using a lot of spices, you can always tone it down. You can also use lots of yogurt just to make sure you are toning down the spices. That will be a good way to do it. The other way could be that you keep a dahi ka chutney or a raita with your meal. So there's always a mix of people who like their food medium spicy, people who like it really spicy. Now, because we knew our guest, we knew that these are the people, our friends and family, who love really spicy food. That is why we have used so much spices and so much chili powder in it. Now, when we have guests where we are not sure about their food taste, we obviously don't keep it very spicy. It's like minimum spicy to like somewhere in the middle, because we want to make sure at the end of the day they are eating. Or maybe in the menu that I create, I'll keep something that is completely non-spicy and something that will have like a mid-level layer of spices. Without saying much, please go ahead and enjoy the video. I did mess up a little bit, which is at the end of the mutton curry when it was almost done, and you can see it like boiling. I don't have a shot of the final finished off mutton curry. We were too busy trying to taste it and adjust the last minute of seasonings, and because it was a little bit late, so I had to make sure the dishes were out and the room was cleaned and everything was done. So yeah, I kind of forgot about that, but you'll get a feeling of it, of how it was done. And then of course for the gravy you adjust accordingly. If you want to keep it a little more lots of gravy, you keep the gravy. If you want to make it a little more drier, you make sure you take off the lid and you make sure it dries off. Now, two things I want to definitely ensure about, I tell about the mutton curry is, we didn't put it in pressure cooker. Everything was done on the stove. When we have guests, this is how we will do it usually, because then it brings the flavor of mutton, because it's cooking for almost like 1.5 hours, so that brings the flavor more. Of course, when I do it in home on a regular basis, I use the pressure cook. I will not spend 1.5 hours in the kitchen trying to make sure the aroma is correct for my mutton curry. Yeah, that's one. And the second important tip here is, if we are cooking for guests, we try to ensure that the mutton is fresh. As in, I will not buy it the day before and put it in my freezer. I buy it fresh, and then directly it goes into the the pan or the karai. So the texture of the mutton stays very, very soft. It's sort of like melt in your mouth instead of making it chewy. So even after the dish is cooked, I will not put it back into the fridge, because that's how we adjust the timings. And I make sure that when it's done, we don't have to put it back in the refrigerator. So I think that's a dish that is done last, because I don't know, very finicky about when you're serving guests. I feel the idea is to put in our best effort and to make sure that things taste the way you want it to taste, because you've put in so much effort, time, money, doing the best of your groceries. You want your guests to enjoy. So a little bit of extra effort might seem sometimes a lot, especially in the summer, but yeah, I mean, if your guests enjoy it and they really think the food is good, then yeah, I don't mind spending an extra hour in the kitchen. I think that's it for today. I do hope you enjoy the video, and if this is something that interests you, let me know. I'll try to put in some cooking videos, some kitchen hacks once in a while, and yeah, I'll see you soon. And again, remember, it's just a recipe. Have fun in the kitchen, and let me know if you try any of these recipes.